Hey, how you guys doing? Hope you're enjoying the little bit of snow we got last night. It's always nice when it's not quite enough to disrupt all of life and mess the roads up, but you just get a little bit of that wintry feel out there. Just kind of makes everything feel a little bit more worth it that it's still getting dark at like 5 p.m. and it's cold and dreary out. I think the snow kind of helps lift the spirits a little bit. But anyway, we're continuing in our Reset devotionals, coinciding with our sermon series in Philippians. And this past Sunday, Pastor Guy was in chapter 2, focusing on unity and humility. And he talked about how peace and reconciliation with others is always preceded by peace and reconciliation with God. In other words, we have to get our relationship with God right before we can have any hope of having right relationships with others. Chapter 2, verse 3 says, to do nothing out of selfish ambition or out of vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves. And the problem with this is that we live in a very me-centric culture, right? We have cameras on both sides of our cell phones, so we can take photos of ourselves whenever we want, and then we can post them on Facebook, and people can like them and make us feel good about ourselves. And it's become so easy to post our opinions online anytime that we want that opinions and truth can get all mixed up with each other, and it only takes about 15 seconds of searching to find another opinion that supports our own, and then that just sort of boosts our feeling that our truth is better than somebody else's truth because this person agreed with me. And the problem with that, with all of this, is that it's very hard for grace to break through me-centricness and entitlement. I heard Matt Redman say recently that entitlement is the exact opposite of grace. And so the problem with that is that if we allow ourselves to get caught up in this selfie mindset and we buy into this sort of entitlement culture, we can end up looking at the cross and saying, well, of course he died for my sins, right? And we miss the whole essence of grace. And so what Paul says instead is that we should take on the same mindset as Christ Jesus, who being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God to be something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant. Being made in human likeness and being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. You see, if there was anybody who could have ever taken on an entitlement mindset, it was Jesus, right? I mean, he had every right in the world to say, I am literally perfect. I mean, I am God. I'm not giving up my life for these people. That's exactly what he did. And Paul says that to achieve unity and rightness in our relationships with others, that we should approach those relationships with the same mindset of Jesus, with ultimate humility. That's why we closed our services on Sunday with the song King of Kings, because it takes us through the entire gospel story. Because as we're reminded of the gospel and we're reminded of how Jesus humbled himself to be to the most extreme degree for our sake, we can't help but be humbled by this display of grace. And hopefully we become a little more aligned with the mindset of Christ. So this week, maybe just take a few minutes and think about something that you could do this week to align yourself more with that same mindset of Christ Jesus. Maybe it's a way that you can serve somebody around you, a neighbor or somebody in your family. Maybe it's something as simple as taking out the trash or cooking dinner so your spouse doesn't have to deal with it that day. Or maybe it means taking a break from Facebook for a few days to reset your brain a little bit from this culture of self-obsession. Or maybe it's reading through one of the Gospels and reacquainting yourself with the lengths that Jesus went to in displaying true humility for our sake. So I mentioned this song, and I thought, why not just play through it this morning as just a reminder of how Jesus took on that ultimate sense of humility, humbled himself even to death on a cross for our sake. And just let these words just remind you this morning of that, and ask God to help transform each of us more into his likeness in that way. In the darkness we were waiting, without hope, without light, till from heaven you came running. There was mercy in your eyes. to fulfill the law and prophets. To a virgin came the word, from a throne of endless glory to a cradle in the dirt. And praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. And God of glory, majesty, and praise forever to the King of Kings. And to reveal the kingdom coming, and to reconcile the lost, to redeem the whole creation, you did not despise the cross. For even in your suffering, you saw to the other side, knowing this was our salvation. Jesus, for our sake, you died. Oh, praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. In the morning that you rose, all of heaven held his breath, till that stone was moved for good, for the Lamb had conquered death. And the dead rose from their tombs, and the angels stood in awe, for the souls of all who come to the Father are restored. And the church of Christ was born, then the Spirit lit the flame. Now this gospel truth of old shall not kneel, shall not faint. By his blood and in his name, in his freedom I am free. For the love of Jesus Christ, who has resurrected me. Oh, praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. Oh, praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. Praise forever to the King of Kings. I hope you guys have a great day, have a great week. Tune back in Friday. I think Pastor Matt will have another one of these. And I know we're not doing these live anymore, so we don't have that interaction there. But if you leave a comment or something, I promise to check them over the next couple of days, and I'll respond to you. So have a great week. See you guys later.